Five Nights at Freddy's is a series that I don't really think needs any introduction. FNaF went from being a small indie game released in 2014 to having its own movie and like hella books. Like, seriously, why is there so much? And although the games have taken like the back pedal and aren't so much as the focus anymore, they still played a really crucial role in building FNaF up to what it is now. FNaF is timeless, and sometimes I wish I could go back and relive these times of when I would sit down at the lunch table with my friends and talk about what we thought about the characters we liked. FNaF has had quite the internet presence ever since its creation. I don't think the internet would be what it is without FNaF sometimes. From the memes the fandom would make to the vast theories that would pique our interest during those times. And though FNaF has changed a lot in the recent years, nothing will make me forget those fearful nights as a kid thinking Foxy was gonna break down my door.
Hey dude, just wanted to let you know the pizza's ready.
Today I'll be looking at these games and I'll tell you my first-hand experience of living through these times of the internet. Thank you, everyone. Also, hi everyone, my name is Corpe. I make videos like this here and there, so if you like that, you should totally subscribe to me because I'm really cool and I look really cool. Oh yeah. Okay, so where better to start than with the developer? Scott Cawthon was an indie horror dev who has been making games since I guess the late 1990s to the early 2000s. He made a bunch of Christian shorts on his YouTube channel and Christian games. He also made this sick butt game, I can't swear anymore, called A Desolate Hope, which you play as this little coffee maker robot. I wish I had one on my desk, he's so cool. And he also made the game Chipper & Sons Lumber Co. This game wasn't really well received as people thought it was too robotic and that the characters were too creepy. The game was also said to look very unsettling. This made Scott feel really discouraged and lost, sometimes depressed. He allegedly said, "Frick all you guys, I was gonna make a game about Freddy." Wait, that's really cool. He began to embrace what people were saying and made a horror game with animatronics as its focus point. With little money, he loaded ClickTeam Fusion and got to work. It's not in my script right now, but he also made like a couple fundraisers that were kind of failed. But on June 14th, we would get our first look at Five Nights at Freddy's 1 with a little trailer he released on his YouTube channel. Although the game wouldn't come out till August of 2014, we received our first gameplay on July of that year on a YouTube channel called Ben the Scoopist, which that's like such a cool name.
Hello everyone, Scoops here, brand new series. This is Five Nights at
Ben would play the entire game for his YouTube channel as he received an early copy that let him play more than the first 2 nights, which was more than what the playable demo let you play.
Nothing's happened yet.
The game would really blow up when a certain YouTuber you might have heard of, I don't know, maybe he's pretty obscure. Yeah, on August 12, 2014, Markiplier would release his own video playing the first and second night of FNaF 1. To say this video did good is a massive understatement. This video had many different YouTubers playing it and sort of boosted Markiplier himself. The game became a phenomenon, and as time went on, it really only got bigger. Scott emphasized the importance of simplicity and accessibility in FNaF 1. He aimed to create a game that was easy to understand and to play, even for those who might not speak English, focusing on the experience rather than more complex tutorials. Now, I know you probably played FNaF 1 at least at some point, but I'm gonna explain the game and the map just really quick so a later section can make more sense and be easy to understand. Okay. In FNaF 1, you play as this guy named Mike Schmidt sitting in his dinky little office where you don't move or even put up a fight. You just kind of take everything that comes to you like a good boy. You have 2 doors, one on your left and the other one on the right, that you close when an animatronic is close. You can also turn on the lights to make sure that they're there or not there. Finally, you got this camera panel that you can use to look at the animatronics and make sure they're not too quirky. Now, there are 4 main threats in this FNaF: Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and the main man, Freddy. Bonnie comes up from your right side door and walks around the left side of the building. It's pretty self-explanatory, just look at the map. Chica does the same thing. But on the right side of the building, again, self-explanatory, Foxy starts in his little cove and he slowly creeps out until he runs straight at your office and bangs on your door for a little bit. Freddy will approach your right, slowly getting closer until he makes it to Camp 4B. Also, this is not in the script, but I wanted to say that Freddy's also really sneaky around the cameras. You can just barely make out his glowing eyes and he's very hard to see. Once Freddy makes it to Camp 4B is when you need to close the door. He doesn't show up at the light like usual. The animatronics work on a system I won't go too in depth into because I'm sure there's definitely better videos on it. Basically, the animatronics work on intervals where after said interval is finished, they choose if they want to move or not, and that's how they, move around. All animatronics in this game work on this sort of system, and it kind of adds a certain level of complexity, especially when you look at things like FNaF 1's custom night. I wish I could say that some animatronics only move on specific nights, but I'm not sure about it. The only thing I'm kind of sure about is that Freddy just doesn't move on night 1, I don't think. There are a lot of cameras in this FNaF, but a lot of them aren't too important, but they all have their relevance either to gameplay or to play an impact on what the community theorized, as well as like ambience. For example, Cam 6, the kitchen, is disabled and is audio only. Other cameras around the map would give us posters which hinted at glimpses of lore or maybe a story, which was really important at this time. The hallway cams especially gave us like full front face pictures of posters and news clippings that we could use, and they would change, they would randomly show up on the cameras, and they would completely give new stories. We also got hints of lore in the way of audio recordings left by who the community dubbed Phone Guy, which would play at the beginning of every single night. I'll talk about those later because I really want to go in depth on those. But right now I kind of want to talk about something that was found pretty much the day of release, which was Golden Freddy was something different, as he could teleport directly into your office even if you have both doors closed. He didn't trigger any footsteps or show up on any cameras, and he crashed your game. I was horrified of Golden Freddy because I knew no matter how much I locked my door and hid that night, he would still teleport to my room and tickle my feet. In the game files, Golden Freddy is labeled as just Yellow Bear, making him a sort of Slender Man, a scary, imposing, mysterious figure that no one really knew anything about. Golden Freddy only added to the game's already strong fear factor and its mystery, but you know what else is scary and mysterious? Me. Oh yeah, and the ambience. Ambience? My girlfriend says it's ambience, I don't know. FNaF is known for its scary atmosphere. The sound of the fan moving, the random noises you hear in the background, Chica smashing pots in the kitchen, the humming in the hallways. I'm sure you remember all of these. The cameras also make it worse. They're filled with static and they make everything hard to see. The layout makes the animatronics unpredictable. The animatronics themselves are extremely recognizable, but they're still they're really freaky. They're robots and that they shouldn't be moving, yet here they are roaming around the halls, directly looking at the cameras, all with the end goal of making it to your office and stuffing you in a suit. The sound design is perfect in FNaF 1. Every sound feels robotic and out of place, almost like you in the pizzeria. They sound almost not real. You really have no clue what any of these sounds could be like. What the f is that? They just do a really good job of being unsettling and setting the tone for the rest of the series. The phone guy calls are mysterious and you can't really tell if he's on your side or not. I remember he specifically goes out of his way to mention that people don't really make it this far.
Hey, you're doing great. Most people don't last this long.
He also is the one to explain that the animatronics will stuff you in the suits.
They'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit.
We have a FNaF book that came out recently from his perspective. I don't know if this is relevant to this part. It's not relevant to this part in the timeline, but But we got a name for him, and his name is Ralph. I thought that was funny. On night 4, we get this horrifying phone call where we witness the death of Phone Guy, where he is attacked by the animatronics and stuffed. Before he dies, he asks us to check the suits, saying,
Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits in the back room. I'm gonna try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. Yeah, I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh no.
I wish I could tell you how much that made me pee myself as a kid. I was so scared. And imagine how I felt when I heard the night 5 phone call. I didn't know it as a kid, but that's a clip of autobiography of a Hoaxes. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll put it on screen. It's like a very, very distorted clip of it, like reversed and everything, but you know, I didn't really know that as a kid. I also believed Phone Guy could call me or my mom, and I don't know. The simple gameplay and the intrigue it brought people built up FNaF really fast and made it extremely popular. Many big YouTubers played it and many videos were made on it. It started being integrated into Minecraft and Gmod, two really big titans on the YouTube platform at the time, with some children's animations too, which I was definitely on as a kid. This old internet raised a lot of kids, including myself, and it's a really big reason why I am who I am today. Those FNaF animations and the great songs, no hate, are things I look up fondly as corny things I thought were cool as a kid. I remember watching a My Little Pony version of the FNaF 1 song by the Living Tombstone in 1st grade. Yeah, that was really tough. I also remember seeing a lot of Gmod FNaF showcase videos as well as role plays in 2016. I know it's not like relevant to the time, but you know. I wish I had more to say, but this is only the first game and like the first piece of the FNaF puzzle, so a lot of the content that revolves around it would come later in 2014 when Scott would release the other games. So I don't have much to talk about here. The only things notable are the many massive YouTubers who made gameplays on the first FNaF game, including Yami Mash, Jacksepticeye, and people who would become really important later on, like Dako. The beginning of the fandom had been built, and now people were getting more and more involved with the series, and so the community got together and thought really hard on a really big question that everyone had. What was the bite of 87? And who caused the bite of 87? Phone Guy says this.
They used to be allowed to walk around during the day, too. But then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe.
This hints at the fact that someone had their frontal lobe removed in a type of bite. At the time, everyone suspected Foxy, rightly so, for him being decommissioned. And also sort of the fact that he runs at you. I don't know. People also wondered what exactly Golden Freddy was, and there were a couple of theories related to him. A lot of the community was set on Golden Freddy being an apparition or hallucination. They took the fact that the game crashed as a sign that the character you play as was losing their mind or maybe going insane. Whenever he popped up, he let out a childlike laugh, way more childish than the others, as well as an ominous message saying, "It's me." There were also a lot of talk about the posters that referenced the murder of multiple children at the Freddy's establishment. A lot of this was unearthed on FNaF's first ever game, Theory by MatPat, where he would go on to theorize that you, the player, are the killer, and that the "It's me" message was a reminder of your sins. He also theorized that you were in a purgatory-like state to pay for your crimes in being in the office. He was also one of the first to say that the animatronics were possessed by the spirits of the murdered children, and also linked the games to a similar event that happened in real life in Chuck E. Cheese, which, yeah, I was scared of Chuck E. Cheese too as a kid. Scott Cawthon would go on to deny using Chuck E. Cheese as an inspiration, but, you know, it's still there. I wish there was more to talk about on the internet side, but this is really only the first game and stuff doesn't really get too serious. I guess you'll see. Apart from the theories, there was also plenty of misinformation or hoaxes created by the people to, I guess, troll people. One of the more famous examples is this picture here with this animatronic in the corner of the door being called Sparky the dog, who was thought to be like a secret in the game, an animatronic that haunted certain frames. Oh, spooky, he's gonna shit in your ass. There were even references to Sparky in the FNaF movie, if you like look at that. He was said to appear on Cam 1C, Pirates Cove, or on Backstage, Cam 5, if certain conditions were met. Some claimed he appeared if you didn't check Pirates Cove at all, or clicked Freddy's nose 7 times. yada yada yada. But the one I heard as a kid was the one that, like, if you put 666 on the custom night difficulty, the kitchen cam would be on. I don't know. Also, I heard that if you put in the code 1987, the you know, the date of the bite, into custom night, you will get a secret ending, which Scott made kind of true now. When you do it, you get... There were also a lot of rumors of secret animatronics that I can't really speak on because I didn't experience them. There's not much online about, like, the beginning hoaxes. We kind of have to wait on, but yeah. Okay, everyone, so I won't even lie, this was supposed to be the end of the video, but I wanted to include interviews from my friends because they had a first-hand experience with Five Nights at Freddy's just as much as I did, and I feel like giving more first-hand accounts would be kind of interesting for the video, so here they are. They're pretty short, don't worry. Okay, can you please give me your name and occupation?
My name is Diego, and my occupation is in computer science.
My name is Wendy Lupian, and I don't have a job, so I spend my days going to school.
How would you describe the 2014 FNaF scene?
The way I would describe FNaF back in 2014 was crazy. It's because that was when the first ever game was released and it became like the most popular horror game back in 2014.
Well, I don't know much about what was going on at that time because I was interested in a lot of different things, but I know it was really popular. People would make like animation videos on it. It would look a little funny because, you know, the animation development wasn't as good as it was now. I think I would see like people writing fan fictions and doing fan art, but since I never interacted much, I wasn't really open to it. Not open to it, but like I wasn't exposed to it as much. Yeah.
Do you remember any FNaF videos you would watch or any sort of FNaF related content you would consume?
I used to watch a lot of FNaF content when I was younger. It was either the creators playing the actual games or those for like little FNaF plush videos.
I do remember those like animation videos. They were like 3D. All the characters were 3D. It looked a little funny, but like I don't remember the premise of the videos either. It would just be like all the characters, and then there would be like a side romance between like Chica, Foxy, and what I don't remember the name of the other one. And like it was just so weird. I didn't really like watch it all the time. I would just stumble upon it when I was scrolling on YouTube, and I'd be like, hey, what's that? And I'd click on it, but I wouldn't like obsessively watch it, no.
Were you scared of anything Five Nights at Freddy's related?
Yeah, anything FNaF related used to scare me. Mostly like the actual game itself when I used to play it when I was young.
Since I wasn't like super interested in Five Nights at Freddy's, I didn't really know much about the game, but I do remember thinking that it was really creepy and kind of scary. It's like, I think it's from the game where like you play the little boy and then like you have to like check your doors in the closet and then the other door. I thought they looked really scary in that game.
Hi everyone, sorry this video was kind of short. I actually scripted all of this myself and it took like years to do, so if you would like the video, that would make me really happy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and look forward to the FNaF 2 version of this video. I love you guys. Bye.